How often would you say you use AI?
I use it only sometimes. I use it to get ideas, and that's like pretty much it.
Don't use it at all. I don't even know what it is.
Sometimes, like not all the time, but to like generate ideas and stuff is really helpful.
I use it to make like study guides every once in a while.
I would say I use AI pretty often. I just use it for like help with homework.
I use it pretty much every day because I'm in an AI class.
I would say that I use AI like not a lot, but sometimes like academically just like look at my grammar and stuff. But that's like pretty much it.
What is the main thing you use AI for, like in school settings?
I feel like I'll use it a lot of times just to like organize my notes, or like if a test is coming up to like ask it to make me a study guide.
Okay. No, I do that also.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's like the most effective way. Do you think using AI for schoolwork is cheating?
It depends on how you use it. Obviously, if you're using it to complete full assignments, that
Yeah.
is, but I think there's a lot of ways that it can be used where it's not, and it just can be like a helpful resource.
No, I agree. Exactly. Like, I feel like people are just using it for leisure and just like completing their assignments really quickly.
Yeah.
But I think it's really helpful for like studying also. Do you think AI will be in your future career?
At least personally, I want to work in restaurants and food service, so I don't think it'll come into play too much because a lot of those things need to be physically done.
Yeah.
But I think just any business where it comes to planning or accounting, data input, all those things probably used by AI sometime in the future.
How important do you think AI skills will be in your future career?
Oh, very important. Marist now has a minor in AI, which I plan on taking. We're looking at a new workforce. There's going to be people who use AI and people who don't use AI. Those people who use AI are going to be much more marketable, and they're going to surpass those people because AI, it's like all these other tools, a print and press, without typewriter, the computer, the internet. These are all tools that can help benefit us. We just got to ride the wave and not drown in it.
Hi, welcome to Fox Hub. This is Molly.
I'm Tommy.
And this week we're doing a segment on AI and its role in school. So we asked about 75 students about AI and how it's being used, what students think about it in their classes, and its impact on learning. So now we're going to go over the results and break down what students had to say.
So for the first question, it was how often do you use AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity for school-related work? And the top one was daily at 26 students responded that. And then there was 29 were students that said a few times a week. And I'm not surprised at all. I thought that it would be almost like 90% of students saying daily. I regularly use AI. I use ChatGPT. I pay for the subscription. It's like $20 a month. I also have Gemini Plus.
Okay, so the next question is, what is the main way you use AI for school? So a majority of people said for brainstorming, which personally, that's what I use it for. I usually use chat for Marist poll. I ask for suggestions on kind of what I'm doing, what topic I'm doing, and it's actually really helpful.
So for the next question is, do you think using AI for school is cheating? And I am with the majority on this one. It's at 60 students responded out of the 75. That it depends, because it really does depend. You know, you can't be using AI to do full assignments, but you could definitely be asking it for help of how to do those assignments. Molly, what do you think?
Yeah, I would definitely choose it depends as well. I do think a lot of people do use ChatGPT to like cheat. So I'm surprised it wasn't a little bit more, but I feel like not a lot of people are going to be honest about that. But I definitely use it to kind of just ask for help. Okay, so for the next question, have any of your professors banned AI use? A majority said yes. Personally, my teachers don't. They actually tell us sometimes to use AI to kind of just get like different opinions and ideas from it. Obviously, they don't condone cheating, but they do think it's a helpful tool.
Going on to our next question, have any of our professors encouraged or taught responsible use of AI? I wouldn't say they necessarily taught it, but they said that you can use it. And 61 respondents said yes. What do you think, Molly?
Yeah, none of my professors have really sat down and like taught it, but I feel like that's because everyone really knows how to use it nowadays. But they always say, yes, be responsible with it. Don't use it to just cheat. For the next question, it says, what approach should professors take towards AI? A majority of people said teach students how to use it responsibly. I think everyone really knows how to use it responsibly. It's just whether they want to in the situation or not. So I think professors can't really do that much. It's kind of up to the students and be like truthful or not.
So for our last question, how important will AI skills be in your future career? The 21 respondents of extremely important because it's the future. And I'm a little surprised that, at the results here, because there's 27 respondents said somewhat important, and then 15 said very important. So I thought everyone was going to say extremely important. I think that a lot of college students understand that. Maybe not as well as I thought they understood.
I think AI will definitely be very important in our future, especially our future careers. I do know a lot of people are currently like minoring like you are in AI, and I think that just shows that like if it's a class, it's definitely going to be important for the future.
I'm here at the Marist Pool. We have some questions for you. Do you guys ski or snowboard?
I snowboard.
I ski.
Perfect. Which one do you think is harder to learn?
Definitely snowboarding.
Snowboarding.
Okay. And which one do you guys think is more injury prone?
Probably snowboarding again.
Yeah, I probably agree. Snowboarding.
Do you ski or snowboard?
I ski.
Nice. Which one do you think is harder to learn, skiing or snowboarding?
Honestly, snowboarding. I feel like I see more kids skiing.
Definitely. Which one do you think is more injury prone?
Snowboarding.
Do you guys ski or snowboard?
Snowboard. I ski.
Which one do you guys think is harder to learn?
Snowboarding. Snowboarding, definitely.
Which one do you guys think is more injury prone?
Snowboarding. Snowboarding.
Do you ski or snowboard?
I ski.
Which one do you think is harder to learn?
Probably snowboarding.
And then which one do you think is more injury prone?
Also probably snowboarding.
Hi everyone, my name's Dennis. I'm here with Tommy, and today we're going to be going over the snowboarding versus skiing poll and the responses we got from students. We got over 75 answers from when we surveyed around campus.
So the first question we asked was, which do you prefer, snowboarding, skiing, or neither? And our results were, we had 30 people say that they prefer skiing, and we had 20 people say they prefer snowboarding, and 25 said neither. I'm not surprised by these results. A lot of people don't snowboard or ski, but I personally snowboard. Dennis, what about you?
Yeah, so I personally ski, and when I really think of snowboarding versus skiing, this is what I would have kind of expected. I mean, I feel like I generally know more people that do ski than snowboard, and then also there's that big group of people that just partake in either.
So have you personally done either sport? And 23 people said that they have done skiing. Only 6 have said that they've done snowboarding, and 18 have said that they've done both, which I'm actually kind of surprised by. I didn't think that a lot of people have done both. It's usually just you snowboard or you just ski. I guess I am in that group though, because I have skied, but that was when I was really young. And we also had 28 respondents say neither. Dennis, you ski, but have you done snowboarding at all?
I do ski. I've been skiing my whole life, and that number does surprise me. Of 18 respondents saying both, like what you said, I feel like I'm like stick to skiing. Like it's 2 completely different movements. So that is a bit of a shocker.
So for our next question, it was, which sport do you think is harder to learn? And we had 46 respondents say snowboarding, and only 12 said skiing. So, I mean, personally, that I've learned both of them, I would say it's probably snowboarding. I learned pretty fast, probably like 3 days or so. But it's definitely a learning curve because it's much different than skiing. Dennis, you've only learned how to ski, but what do you think is harder to learn?
I think snowboarding is hard to learn. Like I would feel claustrophobic. You have both feet strapped in, but then at the same time, I feel like if I'm just learning how to ski at this age right now, I'd kind of be more scared of learning how to ski. It's like a lot harder to stop, and your boots are angled in not a natural position. But in snowboarding, I feel like if you're in need to stop, you can kind of like go parallel with the hill, or perpendicular with the hill, I should say, and you kind of just like sit down. With skiing, it's a little bit more of an awkward motion to try and get yourself to stop.
So for our next question is, which sport do you think is cooler? And we had 54 respondents say snowboarding. So I guess Marist students like snowboarding. Maybe it's just Gen Z that likes snowboarding. We'll see that later in a Gen Z question. But Dennis, what do you think?
I'm definitely biased, but still, I think skiing. If I didn't do either, I'd still think skiing. I think the tricks on skis are much more impressive.
True. And then which sport do you think causes more injuries? So we had 30 respondents say snowboarding, and then we had 21 respondents say skiing. So it's fairly close. I mean, I expected more injuries to be from skiing. Maybe I'm just crazy to think that. I think maybe just more people ski. I don't know the data behind that. But Dennis, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm just surprised skiing is as low as it is. And not sure is just not sure, I guess. But speaking firsthand, I've gotten a concussion from skiing before, and I've gotten all types of small like scratches and bruises, more so than I think I would ever get snowboarding. So I definitely have to side of skiing on that one. And even in the past Olympics, you had a lot more detrimental skiing injuries than snowboarding.
Right. Okay, so for our next question is, which sport do you think feels more Gen Z? We were just talking to Stephanie about this, and she thinks that snowboarding is more Gen Z, and a lot of us, a lot of students agree with us on that one, with 51 respondents saying snowboarding is more Gen Z, and skiing only at 10. Personally, I'm a part of Gen Z, and Dennis is also a part of Gen Z. He's a skier, but snowboarding, I mean, a lot of college students love snowboarding. I think that when they were a kid, they stuck with what they grew up with. So if they skied when they were a little kid, they kept skiing, and then if they grew up snowboarding, they stayed snowboarding. And this is the case for Dennis. But Dennis, what do you think about this question?
Yeah, it does. I think it could have been a little bit more even, but also like of a snowboarding sense, that's a bit like, think about all the other sports that use those similar movements, like skateboarding and surfing and snowboarding. It's all kind of like the same like body positioning on the board. And I feel like skateboarding and surfing are also really popular for Gen Z. So it doesn't really surprise me too much.
And for our last question is, if you had to learn to pick one this winter, which would you pick? I want to stay with snowboarding. So I would just say snowboarding. I would be a part of the 46 respondents that said snowboarding, and then we had 29 respondents say skiing. Dennis, would you want to learn how to snowboard?
No, I'll stick with skiing. I feel like we've been very biased towards our respective sports this segment, but I would definitely stay with skiing. I think skiing, I enjoy it a lot, and I wouldn't want to switch.
And that does it for this week of Fox Hub. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.